All right, here we go. I think we've started to get a fix on our most of our lag issues here. So, as I said, this is our very first production, and we're very happy to do this. And we want to thank Komplett again for giving us all this computer equipment. Now we just need a week to configure it a little more. You know, the general computer business. I'm going to announce our prizes for the challenge later on today. I'm not going to try to pull it for them because I'm going to beat you with it, and I don't want to do that. I'm going to announce that one, and we're very happy to get the prizes from Ali's Barcraft, actually, collaboration with Barcraft Stockholm and QPad Pro Gaming Gear, which is providing us with 2 actually collector's edition mouse pads and dinner for 2 people during the Barcraft this Sunday. So if you manage to beat our Masters players later on, you can win a collector's edition mouse pad and a dinner for 2 people during the Barcraft this Sunday, which is awesome. It's going to be MLG Fall Championship. Do you watch MLG?
Every chance I get, actually.
Every chance you get, yeah. I have the same thing. You want to watch everything, but there's actually starting to be so many tournaments around the world now. It's a little hard to keep up anymore.
There is not enough time in the world.
Not enough time for StarCraft. But here at University Star League, there's always enough time for StarCraft, right? So if you want to win these, you should challenge our 2 Masters players. You can also go to just facebook.com/AlisBarcraft, and you can get a chance to win those without beating the Masters players if you don't feel like you have a chance. But I think it's time to start throwing ourselves into our last possibly 2 games. Are our players ready? Are we about time? Dash is ready, and Xylla is ready. So let's go. Good luck, we get from our observer. So it's 2-1 right now to our Terran player Dash, after a very interesting third game, to say the least.
That was a really good comeback there from Dash. I felt like Xylla, after denying the 3rd base, also holding the attack, taking his 4th base, he was actually ahead. So
he was a lot ahead, quite a lot, and I thought him having warpins in both his main and in the third base as well. At the same time, I thought Dash was basically done there, but somehow he managed to come back. I think it was a bunch of bad engagements from Xylla's side. You talked about him having to sit back and just build his high temper count. I think that's what changed it.
Yeah, that's actually what you want to do as Protoss in that situation. But here we go. There's a new map. Map 4. Xylla has to win this to force this to a 5th map. I'll take the opportunity to present the players once again. Red Terran, as always, is Dash. So give a cheer for Dash, please. Thank you.
Yes, it's beautiful. Woo. We're not gonna
and in the left corner on the same map, we have Xylla, our fighting Protoss player. Down 1-2, but still, if you want him to come back, give a share.
That's perfect. Brilliant. You're really good at this.
I watched Tasteosis.
Oh, you watched Tasteosis a lot. Yeah. So you're tasteless, I'm guessing. He's doing the most of the introductions.
I'm not sure. I mean, Artosis is more the skilled one when it comes to the game.
That's true.
Not saying anything about Masters against Platinum.
No, that's true. But Tasteless is the pretty one, absolutely.
Maybe.
Yeah,
John Travolta.
John Travolta version. That's true. All right, so a general wall-in again. He likes his wall-ins, and why not? Of course, it's always a good thing if the Protoss player has no idea what you're doing.
Yeah, it's really scary for the Protoss player. I mean, he's done the same thing for 3 games in a row.
Yeah.
What if he was just gonna do an all-in? What if Dash is doing a 1-1-1 right now?
What if he's doing a 1-1-1? What if he's doing a weird, very quick Banshee timing or something?
Yeah, there are all sorts of things.
All sorts of things he could be doing behind that wall-in. This is a very wide map, with a lot of open space, even in your base.
True.
Which one does that favor? You can sneak in a whole bunch of drops as a Terran player, of course, but what does that say for Protoss?
Well, I mean, you're correct, but if you take a look on the main base, there's actually only one path the player can drop into your main. So as long as you're prepared for the drops, I think this is a Protoss map. It's just so hard for the Terran player to push across the map, and it's very easy for the Protoss to get into position where you can get both Colossus and High Templar. So I prefer Protoss on this map for sure.
It's true. There's a lot of distance to cover actually, but it's quite easy still, if nothing else, to hold your third base here. So it's geared up for at least somewhat of an economic map.
Yeah, for sure. The map is so big, so usually we see Eco Games on this, and prOpDash doing what he does best, goes for the 1-Rack CC.
Yep, and we have a Nexus from SPXylla as well, so both of them gearing up for a very economic game, as usual. How often do you see one-base games nowadays on ladder?
On ladder?
Yeah.
Every other game.
Every other game. Yeah.
No, not really. I mean, they still exist. Usually Protoss players does the one-base things, so almost always want their expansion, of course. And Terran players, not so much.
Terran players not so much, no.
They seem to like their expand builds. There are still some timings you can do with it, of course, with the stem attacks and whatnot.
Yeah, but I think that the game has been so figured out now that they know how to hold all the early rushes. People have started to figure out how to counter most of these things, and of course, in that way, it's hard to manage to do something early on that would ever surprise a player. You can see the signs quite early on.
Yeah, but they are, as long as your opponent doesn't know that the attack is coming, you can usually still surprise and still take some games. So in a best of 5 series, I think that you should always at least throw in one all-in, like SPXylla did on the second map with the 7-gate. That was a great idea.
That was beautiful.
Yeah.
He executed it very well, and it was very effective. All right, so Zealot was in scouting, found Dash's bunker, and he has a stalker there just hanging out to see if there's any aggression coming out, I guess, from the Terran base.
Yeah, such an interesting... It's so interesting that Dash is doing basically the same thing all 4 games. It sends such a clear signal that, hey, I'm comfortable in this build. I'm comfortable that I can take on my opponent in a macro game.
Exactly.
I actually think that I'm better than my opponent, is what he's saying with that.
He likes his build, and most players do that. I mean, every player has his or her, of course, own style. Playing the game, and a lot of them like to favor their own types of builds. There's so many people that have coined a lot of expressions inside of StarCrafts with specific builds that they do over and over and over again. I mean, not everyone can play as hero.
No, true. But we see some deviations here from Dash, actually. It seems it's like he's going for the siege tanks and maybe also some Banshee, so a delayed 1-1-1 or a 2-2-2 or whatever you want to call it.
What do you want to? Yeah,
seems like he's going for the Marine tank Banshee build this time around.
This is the 2-base version that I was asking a little bit about earlier on. And whoa, we have 4 gateways coming down.
Yeah, so that makes 7 in total. So we have a repeat on the second map where SPXylla actually went for the 7-gate.
And did it very
high pressure all in. Yeah, but this time around he's going for the siege tank. He has the Banshee. He doesn't have siege mode. He doesn't have cloak. So those actually doesn't help out too much.
No.
So this will be very interesting to see if Dash can actually hold this second time around. He has no idea this is coming, by the way.
Absolutely nothing. Has he ever? He hasn't scanned anything either.
No, he knows. He only seen the Nexus all game long.
Fair enough, all game long. So he doesn't know this is coming, and SPXylla is very good at hiding it right now. And he's going to be scouted by a Banshee, and that Banshee is going to say, whoa! No, did he see? He saw the army. I hope he saw the army. He must have looked at the army.
Yeah, he knows this is coming, but not in time, it seems.
Here we go. He's going to cut through that bunker very quick. We have a lot of force field trapping a lot of the Marines on the outside, and this is a beautiful break-in.
Beautiful force fields, shutting out the SCVs, trapping all the Marines. It was
absolutely perfect. And another force field on the ramp, trapping the siege tank and all the rest down there. And this is...
he's doing so much damage right now on the second warp in.
And the second warp in, and he pulls his units back just waiting for the warp in. He knows that there's no idea trying to push this. I mean, he's got a clear advantage now. Just play it slowly and methodically. Just push yourself into the Terran's base.
Yeah, Dash is losing so many SSBs. He's down on 16 against 35.
And we have a GG! So this matchup is going into a game 5.
It is.
This is an epic start on the first event for University Star League. We're going into a game 5 in a best of 5. This is wonderful. All right, so this is obviously a very successful build for SPXylla.
Yeah, I mean the games has been quite the same. First Dash doing his thing, and
Yeah.
then Scylla doing his thing. And yeah, the 7 gate seems to be working against Dash. I think that Dash actually has to be a bit more active with the scouting in the mid game.
Obviously, very much more active. And I think, you know, just a scan really wouldn't hurt his economy that bad. That's all he would need to put down at the time, right? What's the timing of these gateways?
I don't actually know the exact timing in times of minutes and seconds, but
if you just figure that out, you notice that the timing is almost the same every time, and if it's too late, then it's not very effective. So a scan in the mid game, I think, could save Dash a lot of trouble.